If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. This African proverb encapsulates one of the most profound truths of business. Without a team, you will not get very far. And without a high-performance team that can operate at crazy speed with minimal communication, you will not stand a chance to win in the online crazy-paced arena that we all compete in these days. This video is about giving you the keys that I've learned throughout my career to create high-performance teams that not only perform at elite level every day, but they also do so with minimal communication and entropy. Let's get to it. Hey, I'm Leon, CEO and founder of Selfmastered, a peak performance training company that transforms entrepreneurs into elite performers that can achieve in one day what they previously achieved in 1 week. I've coached and trained hundreds of entrepreneurs and invested in 37 of them. So before we dive deep into it, let's discuss what qualifies me to discuss this. Well, throughout my career, I've led high-performance teams in 3 different industries. One, consulting at Deloitte when I was a real estate consultant. Then I went to private equity, and that happened very fast. I was a manager and then a director in 2 different investment funds. And then now as an entrepreneur and a VC, both on Selfmastered and also in my business angel slash venture capitalist side. So I've been building small but very powerful team for quite a few years already. And every time I have used the same techniques that I'm going to share with you now. If you truly apply them, you will see crazy results in your team building effort. So let's get to it. We're gonna subdivide this video into 2 parts. One is how can you set it up? So one of the 2 key things you need to remember when creating a team, and then how can you sustain your team's motivation in the long run, right? If you get those 2 things right, guess what? You're gonna build an incredible team. So the first thing I want to discuss is how can you make sure you're building the right team? Well, if you think about most organizations and also most startups, especially those that have raised funds very easy, you will see a crazy state of things, a massive loss of efficiency in which most companies have people that are disengaged, not performing, and there's a lot of time wasted and potential that is not applied because there's no motivation. People don't really care about what they need to do. There's too many people doing too many things at the same time. They're not clear responsibilities. So when building a team, you need to remember in your head the following sentence: have the right people in the right seats doing the right things. If you get this thing right, everything else becomes easier. First, the right people. You should strive to only hire the best people you can find. So A players, people that are internally motivated, that they do not need external pressure to meet deadlines, people that have high standards and are willing to keep updating those standards. If you have a team of A players, everything else becomes easier. Then in the right seats, oftentimes you can hire an A player, but then match that person with the wrong position. So the skill set and their motivation that they bring to the job are not aligned with what you want them to do. So over time, they do not stay A performers. They end up being B or C performers because there's a mismatch between what they truly are inclined to do and what you ask them to do. And this is a mistake I've done in the past quite a few times. So it's not enough to hire the best people you can find. You also need to put them in the right seats. And then finally, doing the right things. Oftentimes, you have the right people in the right seats, but they're doing wrong things for whatever reason. Maybe they had never truly done what you asked them to do in that specific field of action, or the overall strategy of the company is just not right. Over time, those people are going to get burned out if they do not get the results they want. Because remember, we're assuming they're A players. When an A player does not get the results he wants, it will over time lead to personal burnout and dissatisfaction. So that's the first thing, the right people in the right seats doing the right things. But this is not enough because oftentimes, at least in my experience as venture capitalist, but also building all those teams, I see that one of the biggest culprits of low performers is not having clear roles, having too many people partaking in the same process, not having folks managing a process end to end from start to finish. So there's a mismatch in how people manage each system, and there's a loss of efficiency because more than one people are involved in that process. So if you think about how this ends up happening, it is natural for human beings to create hierarchies, right? In which very soon you have middle managers that are overseeing a number of employees, and those employees also have mixed responsibilities over one process. That doesn't work. What I normally suggest the teams that I invest in to do is to have as flat as an organization as they can, and then have people own a process end to end, because that will remove entropy, will make sure that no one is sharing responsibility of one thing. It is way easier to set KPIs, to audit performance, and to create performance improvement plans for those processes. So that's key number 2. Do not have shared responsibilities. Have as few goals as possible with as few systems as needed, and each person managing processes end to end. This is also very useful because in some companies you have one person that is disproportionately important because it is involved in most processes in the business, and if that person leaves, then guess what? Business goes down. So that's how you set up a high performance team. High quality people in the right seats, doing the right thing with total control over end-to-end processes and as minimal hierarchy as you can handle. But how do you make sure it stays that way? How do you make sure they're always driven to perform to the best of your ability without your constant input? Because what we want is a self-sustaining collective that is striving towards the same goal. How can you achieve this? Well, by maximizing 3 qualities every person on planet Earth wants to feel when doing work. Now, before we dive into it, if you're seeing any value from this video, remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. There's a few videos every week to help people like you build the businesses they want and get the results they deserve. Now, how do you get all those people motivated? Well, let's first start by assuming that you're paying them a good wage, they are not striving for survival, they don't need to have several jobs just to make ends meet. You are providing solid financial security to them. So they are not operating on the base of the pyramid of Maslow, but instead they are pushing towards status, towards autonomy, towards self-realization. And you can position their job as a means to a creation of a personal, powerful identity, because that is the key. The key is that they understand they are doing what they're doing, whatever it is that you tell them to do, for themselves and not for you. That is crucial. And once this is clear, so you're paying them enough, they don't need to worry about that, then there's 3 things you need to maximize. First, alignment. It is very important that they are working on what you hire them to do and what they feel qualified to do and what they want to become competent at. You'll be surprised at how many times I've seen founders hiring people for doing a job, but then for whatever reason they pivot or something changes or they end up doing something else that doesn't align with what they intrinsically wanted to do in the first place. So alignment is crucial. They need to understand that what they are doing is what you hired them to do, and that is important for the company. If there's a misalignment, it is going to be very hard for them to deliver in the long run. So that's the first thing, alignment. 2, autonomy. As we discussed earlier, they need to manage the process. They need to feel responsible for the success of the process. Ideally, they will manage the process end to end, so they will be the sole responsible of that process working out. If you maximize the autonomy, they will step up, because as Jordan Peterson always says, people crave responsibility. They want to feel useful. They want to build themselves as competent individuals. And if you share responsibilities too much in between teams, that gets diluted and it just doesn't work, right? So the second one is autonomy. Give them the ability to manage those processes independently and keep honing their skills so that over time, as they become better, as they deliver better results, they also cultivate a sense of confidence. And finally, development. They need to feel they are developing themselves within the position. They are growing as human beings, because growth, striving for something better, is a core feature of the human soul. If they are doing mind-numbing jobs that just do not add to their lives, they do not see how that builds them, they will end up leaving, because the natural tendency of human beings is to grow, to become better, to strive for something more. So they need to see how they can use that job to become better. So these three things, alignment, autonomy, and development, hold the key of an insanely motivated team. If you align all of these three things and you have the right people in the right seats doing the right things and managing as few things as possible, owning the processes end to end, guess what? You're gonna have a high performance team, a truly Navy SEAL type of team that will deliver outsized results in a very short amount of time. This is how you win in the 21st century. So I hope this was useful. Please let me know in the comments, what did you learn from this video? And of course, if you feel someone could benefit from it, please share it with them. See you in the next video.